Tony, why have track days suddenly had this increase in their popularity?
It's a case of a couple of different things. Firstly, motorcycling has become very fashionable, shall we say, in recent years. That combined with the fact that to ride fast on the road is becoming not only politically unacceptable but just plain dangerous. And of course the police are ever more vigilant with speed cameras and more strict punishment for dangerous riding. And if you have a fast sports bike, you simply can't ride it fast on the road anymore. To get anything like the best from the bike, you've simply got to bring it to a circuit like this.
What improvements do you see in riders when they've done track days? What do they actually get from it?
A big grin on their face, generally, without exception. There's not many people who do a day and don't go home smiling. The trouble with riding on the road is because you don't know what's around the next corner, oil, lamppost, tractor, you just can't commit yourself. On a circuit, you know, everything's going the same way, you can concentrate on your riding and commit yourself. So they get lots from it. They get more corner speed, they actually understand how late it's possible to brake on a motorcycle, just improved bike control, smoothness, reading a corner and understanding the true potential of some of these modern machines. They don't really understand how much grip and how good these bikes are until they ride on the circuit.
Don, what actually brings you to track days?
The adrenaline, the rush. Every time you go out there's an apprehension. You start to build on what you know your mistakes, and you start to build on that. And the sense of satisfaction, the adrenaline, everything about it. When I've finished here today, I'll be high as a kite and absolutely dead on my feet. And so there's just no better feeling. Not legal anyway.
What do you gain from it what's the buzz that you get when you come and do it?
I think it gives you the opportunity to go round the same corner a number of times, and that gives you the chance to gradually push it to the limit and find out where it is in relative safety.
And so I suppose you're learning the circuit then as you go along, so you're just getting better and better each time.
That's it. And on the road you go around a corner, you either think, you know, that was a bit hairy, that was too fast, or I could have gone quicker, and that's it, the corner's behind you then, whereas on the track you get 10 laps at a time to get it right, really.
Suspension, always been a mystery to me, but I've come over to Maxton Engineering just to find out a little bit more about it. Well, how long has Maxton been formed as a company?
Well, it started in 1971, so that makes us 30 years old. I was interested in shock absorbers and the design of shock absorbers. I worked for a company that was racing cars, and they asked me to make a shock dyno, which is a method of checking the performance of a shock absorber.
And once you've designed something like this for a bike run, how do you then test it? What's the best way of testing it?
The best way to test it is to race your product against somebody else's product. And in yourself you can learn all sorts of things, but you can also satisfy yourself that you're keeping up with the general standards and hopefully slightly better.
And I suppose you get a lot of feedback from the racers then to say how things are, how the bike's working on the tracks, is it? You
get a lot of feedback. Riders generally don't tell you what to change in the shock absorber, they tell you what happens to the bike. And you've got to work out what changes you have to make to the shock absorber, externally and internally.
Richard, you're an integral part of the Maxton company. Regarding suspension on my bike, I'm very apprehensive to fiddle with it because I don't really know what the changes do. Can you sort of give me a couple of hints on what I should be looking for?
Yeah, I mean, one of the first things you should check really is the wheel alignment on the bike, because every time you take the back wheel in and out of the bike, you've got to make sure that it's in line with the front wheel. A lot of people use the marks on the chain adjuster, but a lot of the times they are actually out. The next stage really is to look at your settings on the bike, which I've got a front fork off, not off this bike obviously, but and the adjustments you've got really on the front forks are rebound damping adjustments. The blue adjuster is actually the preload adjustment, and the compression dampening adjustment here is at the bottom of the fork. And the most important adjuster really to start off with is the preload, which really sets the sag in the bike.
Well, what we're actually going to do now is we're going to test the front end for sag.
The way to do it really is to stand the bike on its wheels again, grab the front brake, and just again find the bike's settling point, push it up and down, and then just sort of let go and let the bike now settle. And this now is its settling point. If we draw a line with a marker pen on the chrome stanchion,
which I cunningly have here, and then from that you then pull up the bike just to see.
That's right, just grab the front brake and lift the sag or the free play out of the forks.
And again, what's the sort of measurement? What are we looking for here?
Well, you're looking, it is a lot more on the front. You're looking between sort of 20 and 30 mil depending on the bike.
Why is that?
Well, on a bike with flat bars, you tend to your body acts as a sail, and when you accelerate, you pull on the bars and you yourself lift the front of the bike up because the force of the wind on yourself lifts the bike up.
What sort of impact would Rebound give on the rear of a bike?
Well, the Rebound on the rear, again, controls the extension of the shock absorber or the back of the bike. And if you didn't have enough Rebound, as you brake at the front and all the weight shoots towards the front of the back of the bike will leave the ground, it will lift because it will spring back too quickly. On the other side of the coin, if you had too much Rebound damping, the bike would pack down at the back. It would be too slow to return, so it would be constantly just going down and down over the bumps. It would never recover fully for the next bump.
Well, Richard, last in the list is compression. How does that actually work?
Well, compression really, front and back, gives you the feel, and if you have too much compression damping, the bike will feel very hard and harsh and very uncomfortable, not very compliant at all. If you don't really have enough compression, the bike can feel a bit wallowy and it'll maybe feel a bit soft and vague really. You haven't got the confidence in the machine that you should have.
Well, we're watching the tapes back after the second session. Cobby, that was absolutely fantastic. I really did enjoy that. Now you're sort of watching, what do you think? It feels like I've improved.
You've improved loads from the first session this morning. We're about 6 to 7 seconds faster than we were this morning with a lot less effort physically from yourself. So it's coming more naturally now, so we can start going faster. You're using a lot more of the track in the corners, which you need to do to carry more speed. As we can see here, you're getting your knee out now. Your body weight shifted off the side of the bike, which is good, but you could be lower in your body yourself. You're very upright in the corners. You've just missed that apex there. You're just going to miss it again there, about a metre. It's not much, but it all adds up, you know. That last corner, if you went through there faster, carried more speed, you'd arrive at the next series of corners faster.
Sure. I tell you, I'm finding obviously that you've given me so much information, which is absolutely invaluable. I pick up suddenly as I'm driving, I pick a little bit, and then you go a little bit further, and you work on a little bit something else. I suppose it is just time then, isn't it?
It is.
To keep doing it.
It is time, and it's practice. You know, if you're on the track all week, you'd be great by the end of it. You've got a day to do it today, so you're going to try and learn as much as you can in one day.
Well, there you have it, Trackdays. One of my personal favourites, actually, to be honest. I did come here this morning with just a slight bit of anxiety, but with Cobby's help, he showed me how to ride a motorcycle a lot quicker, but with safety in mind. And I'll definitely be back to do this again.